Hello doctors, let us take up venous system and lymphatics in this video. I think you would have been familiar with arterial system, the vasculature belonging to arterial tree, how it's been classified, its importance, what does it contribute to overall cardiovascular regulation, the pressures and everything guys. Now, venous system is comparatively very different from arterial system, while lymphatics is more or less similar to venous system doctors. Now, let us take up veins and see what are all the relevant and important points you need to know in veins and venous system. With that idea, we'll move on to discuss about lymphatics. So, let us start with venous system people. The first and foremost point you need to know when it comes to venous system is the way with which veins are designed and arranged. Now, when it comes to veins, veins are very thin-walled structures. Now, the lumen is so big when it compared with walls, and you have a very thin wall available for holding the veins people. So, this is just the thickness of venous walls. Alright. The first and foremost point you need to know when it comes to venous vasculature are, venous vasculatures are number one, extremely thin-walled structures. What advantage does this thin wall offers? Because these vessels are very thin-walled structures, veins have got an awesome distensibility. They have a very good distensibility, doctors. Alright. Now, because veins do have a greater distensibility, veins could able to easily expand and easily collapse. Now, because of its enormous distensibility, veins can be called as compliant vessels, have very high compliance. Alright, three very important points. They are extremely thin-walled, they have very high distensibility due to the thin-walled anatomy, and they have very high compliance. Now, the point that is even more crucial when it comes to veins are, veins do have a thin amount of smooth muscles in their tunica media. They have very thin smooth muscle layers, and all these smooth muscles of veins are innervated by alpha-1 adrenergic receptors. Alright, the smooth muscles of veins are innervated by alpha-1 adrenergic receptors. What is its importance? You guys know very well. You would have studied this in arterioles as well. When it comes to alpha-1 adrenergic receptors and its location on smooth muscle, whenever they get excited by the neurotransmitter norepinephrine, alpha-1 adrenergic receptor makes the vascular smooth muscle to go for contraction. All these vascular smooth muscles will go for contraction, doctors. Because vascular smooth muscle contracts, this leads to vasoconstriction. In case of veins, it's called as venoconstriction. Now, these 4 points are absolutely crucial when it comes to early understanding of venous anatomy and physiology. Alright. I hope you are familiar with the concept of compliance, my friends. Since the majority of venous functions are correlated with the property called compliance, it is essential that we need to know about compliance a little bit in detail when it comes to vasculature, especially when it comes to veins. Now, I hope you would have understood the logics and concepts behind compliance, right? In a very simpler manner, if you approach compliance, it is nothing but easiness of expansion. Alright? In a very colloquial language, compliance is nothing but easiness of expansion. How easy a vessel expands, how easy a structure expands, that is called as compliance. Let us take up alveoli, friends. Now, I'll give you two examples. One, alveoli of a young adult. Number two, alveoli of an old age man. Which alveoli among these two are very compliant? Obviously, the answer is old age man's alveoli. Why? In a young adult, the elastin fibers are very much present in alveoli. Because of elasticity, it is very difficult to overcome the elasticity. So, expanding an alveoli with high amount of elastin fibers is difficult. Whereas, in an old age lung, the number of elastin fibers are getting lesser and lesser due to age-related breakdown of elastin fibers. Because of this one purpose, and as the elasticity is getting lost, compliance increases. So, when it comes to compliance of veins, we can correlate compliance as easiness of expansion. Now, compliances can be measured by change in volume divided by change in transvascular pressure.